Today I want to share with you a fun way to make some money from woodworking. Stick around and I'll show you what we sell these for, and I think you'll be surprised. To get started, all you need is access to some scrap wood and a few basic tools. In my case, I'm using 20-year-old 4x4 fence posts, a drill and a planer, and I'll be using this scrap wood to create cute candle holders to sell. I'll start by preparing the fence posts. So I've got a short piece here that I'm going to drop into my vise, and then I'm going to start cleaning up the sides using a DeWalt electric planer. What you're looking for here is a fairly smooth, fairly clean finish. If you started with new 4x4s, you could probably skip this step, but these posts are about 20 years old, pretty rough, pretty green, so I needed to clean off each side before we could start drilling the holes and turning these into the little candle blocks. It's a really satisfying process to clean these up and start inspecting the raw wood beneath the green. So let's take this out of the vise and drop it over on the bench to take a look at it. I'll now cut this down to about 5 inches or 125 mils. I'll use a 60 mil Forstner bit to make most of the holes and a 40 mil bit for this central candle hole. With that 60 mil Forstner bit in mind, I'll mark a central point on the 4 sides and the top of the candle holder. Once you have these marked up, I'll use this punch to ensure my Forstner bit doesn't try to wander when we're starting to drill. Now I'll put this 60 mil bit into my cheapo bench drill. You could try to drill these holes in a vise and with a hand drill, but it would be pretty difficult and maybe a bit dangerous. Now let's check that the table is at the right height and that the work will fit beneath it. Now I made a little jig to help hold the wooden block to the bench's table. Start by clamping the workpiece to this jig, and then we'll clamp the jig itself to the drill's table. Trying to hold blocks like this by hand is really dangerous, so please don't try that. So here it is all hooked together. It's not stupid if it works right, although it is a little bit ugly. So let's get drilling. We need to drill through to beyond the halfway point on each of the 4 sides of this candle block. With my setup and my drill, I could get about 75% of the way through, which is plenty more than enough. Anything over halfway is fine. So we're going to drill through each side, and then we'll take it out and have a quick look at each step of the process. So let's get this unclamped. Right, let's rotate, get it clamped back in again, and we can start drilling on the second side. The first side obviously hogs out most of the material. The other sides take advantage of some of the holes already being drilled. But as you're drilling through wood and holes at the same time, it increases the chance of the Forstner bit biting and binding. So use clamps, not hands, for all of this, please. It really does get dangerous and it can really jump around quite a bit. So this is what 2 sides look like. And now we'll get it back up on the bench drill and get going on side number 3. Each time we're doing this, it's getting easier and easier for the drill because there's less and less wood to hog out. But each time it is still dangerous, so always use the clamps. So now we've got 3 sides done, and it's time to do the 4th and final side. Looks a bit wonky here in this shot, but it was dead level. So here's all 4 sides now drilled through. So the last piece we need to do now is drill through the top. So let's get this clamped onto the table and open up the top of the candle block. For the first time in this project, you're cutting into end grain here, so it can be a little bit tougher. So make sure those clamps are nice and tight. You can see things trying to wiggle around in this shot. So we now have a candle block with all 4 sides and the top opened up, so it's time to swap out or 40mm bit. Most bench drills can only drill so deep, so you might need to insert the bit into the top of the hole of the block first, tighten that into the chuck, then raise the table up. So here is the hole that will be used to hold the actual candle itself within the candle block. You can see it's still a little bit rough, but these are rustic and they can be left quite rough. But I like to give them a light sanding to take out any really rough edges, any splinters or any sharp corners. So you can just give this a quick once over with some sanding paper. Now I'll paint these up, wrap some string around the base and grab the cheapest possible 4-star rated candlelight from Amazon and reveal how these sold. For the basic scrapwood, these basically would never sell, so 0 for these. For the prepared timber, maybe $1 for something this size. With the holes and sanding, maybe $3 if you're lucky. Slap on some paint, add some string, drop in a 50-cent light, and we'll sell these for $25 all day, every day, at craft fairs and on Etsy and so on. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more woodworking tips and projects.